Okay, so let's go over the study guide. So for number 1, we have to write our answer in exponential form. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, and 1/10. So we're going to do 2 and 1/10 to the 4th power. And that's just your answer because we want it in exponential form. All right, so for the next one, we need to use PEMDAS, so our order of operations. First, we know we have to do exponents, and this is not in a parentheses, so this is negative, and then 8 squared. So 8 squared is 64, and we're going to make that negative, plus 18, so we just bring down what we haven't used yet, divided by 3. So now we're going to do division. That's our next order of operations, or next in line in our order of operations. So 18 divided by 3 is 6. So we have 6 plus negative 64. And that gives us negative 58. Because remember, different signs, one's positive, one's negative. It's like we subtract and keep the sign. So we do 64 minus 6. And we get 58. And then we make it negative because our bigger number was negative. So this is negative 58 as our answer. All right, simplify the expression, write your answer as a power. So we are multiplying, so that means we're going to keep our base the same. So our base is 3 over 7. And then when we multiply using it with exponents, we add our exponents, so 3 plus 4. So that gives us 3/7 to the 7th power. All right. For number 4, it says simplify the expression, write your answer as a power. And so now whenever we are multiplying our, we have an exponent to an exponent, we multiply our exponents. So we have 8 to the, and I just wrote up what that number was, 2 times 9. So this gives us 8 to the 18th power. All right, number 5. So simplify the expression. So remember that this exponent goes to both things inside of our parentheses. So this is now 2 to the 3rd times x to the 3rd. And so remember, this is 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So that's actually 8. And then x to the 3rd because we can't simplify a variable. Remember, on our calculators, we can type that in. Make sure that you are on scientific on your calculator. And then you do 2, and then you have this x to the y. And click that, and then type 3, and that gives you that 8. And you can use that on your test. All right, simplify the expression and write your answer as a power. So when we are dividing numbers that are, or when we are dividing the same bases, so we have a base of x, we can subtract our exponents. So we actually have x and then 6 minus 4, and that gives us x squared. Because remember, this is like having 6 x's on top, 4 on the bottom, and then we cancel out 4 of them, and we have 2 left over on top, and that's where we get that exponent, that 2. All right, number 7. Simplify the expression, write your answer as a power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify the numerator, or the top of my fraction. So when I'm multiplying and I have the same base, then I keep my base, and I'm going to add my exponents. So 6 plus 0 plus 4, and that gives me 9 to the 10th power over 9 to the 7th. We still have the same basis, so we can subtract. So it's like having 9 to the 10 minus 7. And that gives us 9 to the 3rd power. So this is 9 to the 3rd. Now it says write it as a power, so I want you to keep it in this form. We want it we want to have an exponent in our answer. You also could have noticed that 9 to the 0 is just a 1. So then we could just do 6 plus 4 is 10, and then 9 to the 10th power times 1 is just 9 to the 10th power. So you also could have done it that way. All right, number 8, evaluate the expression. So we are going to subtract because our bases are the same. So 2 to the 6 minus 8, and that gives us 2 to the negative 2. And so now, whenever we have a negative exponent, it flips it to the bottom of our fraction. So we're going to do 1 over 2, and then it turns it positive once we flip it. So 2 squared tells us to keep it in exponential form. So we are going to simplify. So 1 over 2 times 2 is 4. So 1/4 is our answer for this one. Number 9. Simplify the expression. Write the expression using only positive exponents. So we're going to add our exponents because we have the same base. So -2 plus -3. So we get k to the -5th power. And remember, we have a negative exponent, so we're going to flip it. So we have 1 over k to the 5th power. And this one told us to use positive exponents, which is what we did. So that's why 1 over k to the 5th power is our answer. Number 10, use prime factorization, or choose the prime factorization of 64. So what this means is we are trying to write it as an exponent. So these don't have any exponents. This is not prime factorization. These are just factors of 64. So that one doesn't work. This one's not simplified because I can, this is not using only exponents. So that one's out. This is not prime factorization. So my answer is the first one, 2 to the 6th, and I can check that by doing 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, or of course you can just, I think I missed a 2 there, maybe I multiply by 1 more 2. Anyway, so I'm going to do 2 and then 2 to the 6th power, and that gives me 64. So I know that this is 64, so this is my prime factorization. So you're trying to write it as an exponent. So something like simplify it or do like the step before you find your answer type thing. So you're working backwards. So what base and what exponent can I use to get me 64? All right, the altitude of object B is 27 times the altitude of object A. The altitude of object A is 3 to the 3rd power. What is the altitude of object B? Write your answer. So it says that object B is 27 times the altitude of A. So this is our A. We don't know B, but we do know that this one is going to be 27 times this number. But we can't just do 3 to the 3rd times 27 because we want our answer as a power. So let's turn this into a base of 3. So we already have 3 to the 3rd power times, so we need this to be a base of 3. So we can keep our base of 3. So then 3 times 3, so that's 3 times 3 is 9, and then times 3 is 27. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that would be 3 to the 3rd power. And to double check, 3 to the 3rd power is 27. And so now I can use my exponential rules. So when I multiply, I keep my base, and I add my exponents. So I get 3 to the 6th. All right, last one. A gas pump fills 2 to the negative 2nd power gallons of gasoline per second. How many gallons does the pump fill in 1 minute? So how many seconds are in a minute? There's 60 seconds equals 1 minute. So this is how much it fills it up. So let's write this as 1 over 2 to the second, or 2 squared. And so we know that 2 squared is 4, so we have 1 over 4. And we're going to multiply this by 60 seconds. There's 60 seconds in a minute, and this one here is per second. So that gives us 60 over 4. 60 divided by 4 is 15. So my answer is 15 gallons per minute. All right. Go ahead and try a practice test. If you'd like an extra practice test, feel free to email me and I can give you another one. They are located on Big Idea.